Hi, I'm Sean Anderson with Sean Anderson Tech. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're building a server cluster out of Raspberry Pis. Let's get started. So I'm pretty excited about this project. I've had this in the works for a little while now with the idea of building out a cluster that I can run all of my tests on. And the reason why I want to build an actual physical cluster is right now I've been running all of my machines on VMs, and I only have one machine that I can run them on at the moment. And so whenever I reboot that machine for updates, I find that a lot of the time when I come back online, my networking has gone down or my VMs are disconnected. So if I'm ever away from the office, I need to be able to have something that when it comes back up, reconnects to the network and works all the time. The other thing that I wanted was I wanted a small package. And so I didn't have a whole lot of space to build out a whole server. And so the Raspberry Pis are very compact and I can have a couple of them. And for running my Ansible automation scripts or building out a Kubernetes cluster, they're going to be ideal for meeting these requirements. And so some of the requirements that I had in mind going into this project were I needed it to be compact. I needed to be able to fit on my desk without a lot of cords. And so to meet that requirement, instead of having a power cord and an Ethernet cord going into my switch, I have all of my power coming through PoE or power over Ethernet. So the next thing that I needed is I needed them to be able to run simultaneous processes across them. And to do that, I needed to have similar hardware that can move back and forth and do that computation across the cluster. And maybe at some point I'll be breaking this down and using these Raspberry Pis for other projects. But for right now, I'm really excited to be able to test these out and run some of my servers on these Raspberry Pis and to be able to configure them and manage them directly through Ansible. So we grabbed a couple of things for this project. First, we grabbed 2 Raspberry Pis for our cluster. Second, we grabbed PoE hats to meet that PoE need, because Raspberry Pis won't run on PoE alone. And so to be able to run the PoE, you need to have these PoE hats. And you can get these on Amazon for anywhere from $20 to $25. And they sit on top of your Raspberry Pi and provide the power through the Ethernet. Next, to deliver that power over Ethernet, we do need to have a PoE switch. So I grabbed a switch from a store near me, which does have power over Ethernet on 4 of the different ports. And you can usually get these for fairly cheap, anywhere from the $30 to $70 range. The one that I got is the UniFi Switch 8, and that's more to match the networking infrastructure that I've already built out in my home on the UniFi system. The other thing that's nice about this is it does have 8 ports, and where I plan on running at least 4 Raspberry Pis, the 4 PoE ports in this is going to meet my needs here, as well as provide extra ports to deliver internet to my daily driver, my desktop that you see behind me. Now, I did mention a couple of times that I want it to be a compact form factor. So I found one of these form factors on Amazon, and they usually run anywhere from $15 to $20, $30. And so this is the one that I picked up. It's the 4-layer acrylic stackable Raspberry Pi case from Microconnectors, and it's going to give us a little bit more of that stack feeling, and it's going to look really clean at the very end. But that's going to provide not only that compact form factor, but it will also provide some fans that will hopefully help with cooling these Raspberry Pis, as if you're not careful, they can run a little bit hot and overheat if you're running a lot of processes on them, especially in a small server farm that I've got going. All right, so finally I did grab a bunch of these micro SD cards, which are going to provide the hard drives for my Raspberry Pis, and they're just the Samsung 32 Evo Plus. They're fairly cheap. I think they're about $5 or $10 on Amazon, depending on if you can get them on sale or not. And I chose the 32 gigabytes because that's going to be plenty space for the projects that we're going to be running on these. Let's get started. And that's all there is to it. Next time we're going to take these Raspberry Pis and we're going to push out our custom configurations, because there's a couple of customizations that I like to make on all the systems that I touch, including some configurations to my Vim files and other configuration files, and we're going to push all those changes out through Ansible Tower. That way, if we ever need to make those changes in the future, or if we ever need to spin this up again, it's going to be really easy to just plug and run that Ansible playbook and have it all configured automatically. And if you have any questions, or if you have any suggestions about how to make this better, or ways to modify this setup so that it works better, or things that you might have done differently, pop those in the chat, because I'm more than happy to accept any suggestions and maybe even showcase some of the better suggestions in the future. And again, thank you so much for watching my video. Please hit like and subscribe. We just hit 50 subscribers the other day, so I'm really excited and really happy about that. So thanks everyone for supporting the channel, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.